Hi everyone, I'm Danica Favorite, and I want to talk to you a little bit about art journaling today. But mostly what I want to talk to you about is fear. You see, when I talk to people about art journaling, or I see comments about what people are afraid of, or I'm on different forums, one thing always comes up, and that is people say things like, hey, I've always wanted to art journal. Oh, that sounds really cool, but I don't have any art talent. Or, oh, yeah, the art journaling thing, that sounds like a lot of fun, but I'm not good at art. I can't draw. I can't draw. I can only draw stick figures. Oh, I'm terrible at colors. I would love to paint, but I just don't have the talent for it. And of course, the inevitable, yeah, somebody once told me that I really sucked at it, so I'm just not going to do it. And let me tell you something, all of those are lies. They're all things that hold us back from really something that could be really joyful in our lives, something that could be really beautiful. And so today I want to encourage you to just try. The reason art journaling just really grabbed a hold of me is that all of those comments I just told you, I could have said every single one of them. In fact, when my friend invited me to my first art journaling class, I kind of said the same thing. I'm not an artist, I'm a writer. And I also said, I can't even draw a straight line. I'm really not very good at art. And truthfully, that's the lie I've believed my whole life. And maybe it is a little bit of the truth, but I think truthfully, we are all good at art, just in our own way. Okay, I am never going to be able to draw a picture of someone's face and have it look like that. I will probably come sort of close to having something that looks a little bit ridiculous, but not really like who that person is. And you know what? That's okay. I think we put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect and to have these wonderful creations that look exactly like it belongs in a gallery that we're afraid to try. And here's what I would tell my kids. You see, I have two little girls, the cowgirl and the princess. The cowgirl is an accomplished artist. She can draw these amazing horses that are very lifelike, very detailed. And here's the thing, she's 13 years old. These horses, some of them probably could go in a gallery. But here's the thing, she's been drawing horses ever since she could pick up a crayon and make a little shape. I have some of her earliest horse drawings made when she was 2, 3 years old, and they look terrible. So here is this girl, she has been drawing a horse every day for the past 11 years, and you know what? Her horses are pretty good because she's been practicing for 11 years. Her little sister, the princess, who is 10, cannot draw a horse as well. She also lacks the discipline of drawing every single day. When she draws a horse, it kind of looks like a horse, and actually it looks like what you'd expect a 10-year-old to draw a horse to be looking like. But her talent, she has this really great talent of putting different colors and shapes and images together, and it blows me away because we'll be doing some hand lettering things, and she comes up with this really incredible idea, and I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. I can't even do that. And she in her head says, I'm not a good artist because I can't draw horses like Cowgirl. I think that's what we do as adults. I think we say, I'm not a good artist because I can't do such and such as well as such and such. That doesn't mean you're not a good artist. It means you haven't been practicing for 11 years. It means that maybe you don't have as steady of a hand, but maybe you have a really great eye for color. And so what I want you to do is all those preconceived notions of saying, I'm not a good artist, I can't do it, I want you to throw those out the window. What I want you to do is I want you to try. I want you to take a look at what you're doing and just jump in and say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I am as good as the person whose pictures I saw. It doesn't matter if I can't even duplicate the idea in my head. I have so many great ideas in my head, and when I put them on the page, they don't look anything like the page. And I mean, the page doesn't look like anything in my head, and that's okay. What matters is that I try, that I keep putting it out there, and I keep working on it and developing it. And so, if you're one of those people who says, I would really like to do art journaling, I really want to draw, I really want to paint, my encouragement to you today is to try. Just try. Forget about what other people say. Forget about any standards of what is good and what is not good. Just try. So I'm going to lead you in a small exercise just to get you started, because you can hear this video and go, oh yeah, I'm going to go try, and then you have nothing to do. So I'm going to give you a really practical exercise that you can do right now. If you want to give me a second, I'll explain what you need to get. Go run and get a couple of supplies and come back. So here's what I want you to get. I want you to get a piece of paper. Any piece of paper will do. You could use computer paper. This is actually from one of my kids' paint books. I usually would do this in my art journal, but this is easier to hold up than my art journal. As you can see, it's not perfect paper. Do you see the little ink stains on it? Like every single paper in this pad has this red stuff, so I guess the kids spilled something or whatever. And that's okay. Again, I'm not hanging this in a gallery. And I think the imperfections of all of these pieces are really what make them beautiful. So go ahead, grab what you have. And then what I want you to do is I want you to get some pens or some markers or crayons or colored pencils, whatever works for you. Right here in my hands, I have a whole bunch of Sharpies. I am a Sharpie addict. I love my Sharpies. I know not all people who do art journaling like Sharpies because they bleed through the paper, but for me, I just really like the look, and the solidity of the pen in my hand feels really good. So I have Sharpies. I have my piece of paper. What I want you to do is I want you to pause this video, go get some kind of writing implement, go get a piece of paper, come back here, press play, and we'll begin. Okay, so you have your paper, you have your pens. Whatever you have works. I know there are a lot of really wonderful, expensive, specialized art journaling tools out there, some really great pens, and a lot of my friends who art journaling just swear by them. And that's okay. If that's what you like, that's great. But I also encourage you to just start where you are. And so don't worry if you don't have really cool pens or really cool writing implements. So here's what we're going to do. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to, on your piece of paper, get out whatever color pen feels good. I just randomly grabbed green, but I like green, so I'm really happy. And then I want you to just draw a big circle. And it can be, wherever you want on the paper. So I'm going to show you my circle. As you can see, it is lopsided. I'm going to tell you right now, I cannot make a perfect circle. Ever. Period. Seriously, even if I have a perfect circle to trace, I will still mess it up. And that's okay. It doesn't matter where your circle's on the page, so if you looked at mine and said, oh, that's not how I did my circle, that's okay. It doesn't matter. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to draw a line. Now, you can use the same pencil, the same color you use. This is green also. It's a thicker point. Or you could use a different color. Actually, I changed my mind. I don't want to use green again. I'm going to use, maybe I will use green. Oh, here, I have pretty pink. I think that's pretty. So I've got my pink. I want you to do your pink. And I just want you to draw a line. You can draw your line anywhere on the paper. I just realized as I drew my line, I drew it right through my circle, which I think is kind of interesting because already that to me is like no. And I'm really tempted right now to write excuses right in the middle. And if this is your project, if you're like, hey, I want to do that, go ahead and do it. I am going to play around with this a little more, although maybe what I'll do is I will leave that because my project will eventually morph into that. But I don't know. We'll see. So you've got your circle, you've got your line. Now I want you to take, again, you can use the same color, you can use a different color. I went ahead and I got a blue Sharpie because I'm going to just mix it up. My personal goal for me, art-wise, is to just use different colors because I tend to use the same colors over and over and over again because I like them. And I'm trying to do new things. Again, it's all about trying. And eventually I may go back to my same old favorite colors. But for now, I'm going to try. I'm going to do something new. So, with your blue pen, make some squiggle marks. Now, because I have an idea in my head how I want to do this, I made 2 squiggle marks. Again, do you see how fast I did this? I mean, it really was something I did very quickly, just random. Mine, again, has a little pattern already coming out, and that's okay. If yours doesn't, if yours is completely random, that's okay. So now what I want you to do is I want you to take your whatever color you choose, whatever color you like, and around your circle, I want you to do some kind of decorative border thing. So I'm going to start my decorative border. I'm going to do a couple of varied borders just to give you an idea. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Right now I'm doing a couple of little loopy things because they're fun. So this is the first half of my decorative border around my circle. As you can see, just little loops. But then just to give you an idea of some other things you can do, over here I did some triangles because triangles are kind of fun. I like triangles. And think about the shapes that you like. What shapes make you happy? What shapes make you feel good? Just draw them. And again, if you're like, oh, I'd always want to do such and such shape, but oh, I can't do it very well, that's okay. I mean, my triangles are pretty messy. So, you've got your shapes. Hopefully the dogs barking are not too loud in the video. I'm hoping. Please. My neighbors have like 100 chihuahuas. I'm not kidding. They have this chihuahua that's always pregnant. She's always having babies. And I don't even know what they do with these chihuahuas. There's a lot of them. Like I said, there's 100 of them. Maybe not exactly 100. So, anyway, I've got my little circle colored in. I mean, not colored in. I mean, with a little border. And I'm thinking, maybe it would be fun to take my line and do the same kind of idea, maybe in places, and maybe not. Because now that I tried to put my pen to do the same idea to my line, I was like, oh, I don't like that idea. I'm not going to do it. And so think about that. And think about what else you could do with that. So at this stage, if a different theme is appearing, what I want you to do is I want you to say, is this a theme I want to go with? Do I want to turn this into something? Or is it just something that you're like, yeah, I don't know what this is yet. If you don't have an idea of what this looks like, or you don't have an idea of where you want to go with it, make a couple more squiggles. Make a couple more lines. Make a couple more circles. Throw some other geometric shapes. If you like triangles, throw some triangles on. If you want to get fancy and do like a hexagon or an octagon or whatever, go for it. Me personally, I'm kind of a basic shape girl, but again, do what feels good. Put something on there. And then what I want you to do is I want you to think about a word. Think about a word that describes how you feel about art journaling. How do you feel about this process? Are you afraid? I think a lot of people are afraid. And so I'm going to write the word fear. I actually have decided I'm going to write it inside my circle because I've already got this nice circle and line. And so I think by having this kind of no fear thing. Now, you can do whatever you want for the lettering. I am not a perfect lettering person. I've taken some lettering classes. When I scrapbooked, I had a bunch of lettering classes I did. I've taken some art journaling lettering classes. I have some lettering books. And I'll be really honest with you, my letters are still not perfect. They're still not the best letters in the whole world. And actually, my 10-year-old does better lettering than I do. And I know you're going to know exactly what's coming out of my mouth here. It's okay. So here I have no fear. And so these lettering, I just freehanded it, and it's crooked, it's kind of awkward, and that's okay. I kind of like it because, again, it's just a reminder that you don't have to be perfect. And so because I have the no fear thing going on, I like my line, except that I think it's too thin, so I'm actually going to kind of double it up a little bit and make it into a bigger line. I'm going to just make it a bigger line. So then you have a couple of other choices. What I want to do is I want to decorate my letters. I want to make my letters fun. And I really encourage you to make your letters fun too. So my F, I grabbed a purple pen and I'm just going to make little dots, almost like little polka dots, just randomly. They don't have to be perfect. I'm hoping that by the end of this video, you're just going to be able to say, it's not perfect and it's okay. Not perfect and it's okay. And if you don't like it, that's okay too. Because what you could do is do something different. So I left the line, I left that part blank because I think what I'm going to do is when I'm done with all my letters, I'm just going to color in this line. We'll see how it looks. If I don't like it, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some paint. I'm going to go paint over it and start over. Because that's what you can do. That's the beauty of art journaling. And some of you might be like, I'll just throw mine away. But hey, if that's what you want to do it. So, the next one, in the E, I think what I want to do is I want to do like little baby squiggles. Almost like little S's. And so I have my little S's here in my E. Let's see. I don't know if you can kind of see them. They're just little squiggly guys. Again, nothing fancy. I'm just going to fill my E with these little squiggly guys because they make me happy. And they're cute. And they're easy. And you don't have to have a lot of talent to do this. And I'm really all about showcasing my lack of talent because it isn't about your talent. It's just about doing it, having fun. And so there you see my E filled with its little S thingies. And then the A, I am going to do something kind of fun with my A. I need to find a fine point Sharpie. I know I have a fine point. Okay, I have a pink fine point. I'm going to do lines and make kind of like a crisscrossy thing. So to start it out, I did some lines, but just you wait, because I'm going to make it even fancier. Because I am all about making it fancy. So, once I have all my lines, I'm going to crisscross, make little crisscrosses in my line to make it super fancy and to make little boxy crisscrossy things. So there you go. I've got my little crisscrosses in my A. Notice I left where the big line is going through. I left that open because I'm going to paint that solid, or marker it solid, I should say. I'm not painting anything today. I'm just going to do markers because we're going for the easy. Always, you know, go for whatever is simplest to you, whatever feels good to you. Part of why I'm doing everything really simply is I'm sitting on my deck. Most of my art journal supplies are downstairs, so I just have this little pencil box. Now that I've taken all my markers out. Do you recognize these little school boxes, the little pencil box that your kids get for school supplies, and then at the end of the year you have it left over, so what do? Well, I just put all my markers in it, and then I have some really great places that I can just take my paper, my markers out to the deck, and I can work, enjoy a little glass of iced tea, and enjoy. So now, I think what I'm going to do in my R is I'm going to make little baby triangles. Have to do something fun, and I like triangles a lot. If my 10-year-old was here with me, she probably would have something really super even cooler. And for those of you who have kids or have access to children, sit down and do this with the kids because they really get a kick out of this. They really love to see grown-ups trying something new. And they really love it when you say, man, I don't know what color to use here, or I don't know what shape to use here. What shape would you use here? And to ask their opinion, they just think that they are the best in the whole wide world. And I think our kids need to know that they are appreciated and valued by the adults around them. And so there you see I have my little R with my triangles in it. So now that I have my letters colored in, I feel like I want to do something in this circle. And I don't really know what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move on. And I'm going to color in that line that I told you I wanted to color in. And I'm going to color it in with this Sharpie. This Sharpie is one of my favorite Sharpies because it's a brush tip. And so it's really cool because it colors in so smooth and so easily. And I really love it. And the great thing about it, again, is that, I mean, I'm looking at this going, wow, my line is so crooked. And most of my lines are crooked, actually. And no matter what I do, I have crooked lines. Maybe I will be known as the crooked line artist forever and ever. I should copyright that. Danica favorite, the crooked line artist. That would be pretty fun. Or I could just let someone else be the crooked line artist, because I'm sure I'm not the only person in the world who cannot draw a straight line. Seriously, I don't care what you give me to help me make a straight line, I can't do it. There you go, see my crooked line? Isn't it great? It's fun, and see, if you look at the back, you can see what I mean by the Sharpie bleed through. So, you know, if you're in something where you really care about things being bled through, then don't use a Sharpie. So I still don't know what I'm going to put in this inside fear thing. So what I do think I want to do is I'd like some squigglies on the side. I'm just going to do some squigglies on the top, kind of like the same idea, just so that I can have like a little mini border. And so I'm doing my little mini border, and it's kind of fun. Whoops. And I messed that up. See, looky there. I want to show you my mistake. Look at my mistake. Why am I showing you my mistake? Because I want you to realize that you are going to make mistakes too, and that's okay. So I have this fear thing, and what I really want to do, actually, is as I'm thinking about it, part of me wants to get some watercolor paint and just paint the inside. But I am outside on my deck. I didn't bring my watercolor paint, and I'll save that for another day. But as I was thinking about fear, and I was thinking about being afraid to create, I started thinking about Bible verses. And I do this a lot when I'm doing art journaling. This is part of how I communicate with God in some ways. And so the part of the verse, and I can't remember the citation, mostly because I don't have my Bible out here with me to look it up. But I keep thinking of the idea that perfect love casts out all fear. And so what I've done is I just wrote it along the outer edge. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to write it again. I'm just going to keep repeating that idea. Perfect love casts out all fear. And it looks like I have room to write it a third time. And, you know, I also don't have the neatest handwriting. And I think I might be able to do a fourth time, although I may have to squeeze it in because I don't quite have enough room. And so there you go. I've got 4 times around, perfect love casts out all fear. And now what I want to do is I think I'm going to separate them. And I'm going to, between each one, I'm going to take a red pen and I'm going to make a heart. Just to remind us of love. And because little hearts are fun to make. And the truth is, I really make terrible little hearts. And again, I can't teach you how to make a perfect heart. And that's okay. And so now I have perfect love casts out all fear. My little hearts. And for me, I think this is really pretty. Actually, no, I have something else I can do. What I want to do is I want to decorate my squiggles. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a pen. I don't know how well this is going to work. No, it works out just fine. So I'm making a squiggle. Whoops. I'm making a squiggle over the squiggle. And that feels really good to me. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I say that it feels good to me because I really want you guys to understand that you have to do the pieces that feel good. If it doesn't feel good to draw squiggles, don't draw squiggles. If you want to draw lines, draw lines. If you want to draw squares or circles or whatever you want to draw, I think sometimes we are so used to being told what to do, and we have to do it somebody else's way, or it's not the right way. And the truth is, in art journaling, there is no right way. There's maybe better ways, and some people might know a better way to do things. But when it comes to just making a cool picture um, and doing what you love, do what you love. Don't do what somebody tells you to do it just because they tell you to do it. So I hope I've given you a little bit of a start on how to make this picture. Again, it's not perfect, but at least what you've got is a tool and a really nice, quick, easy art journal project. So it really just started with making a circle, a line, and a squiggle. And again, if you're still struggling what to do with your circle, line, or squiggle, I'll post a couple other examples on my website, and you can take a look and see if that just jumpstarts anything in you. And I would also say, if you really are feeling resistant, why not journal about why you're feeling resistant? Ask yourself, why am I resistant? Put that on the page. See what that does for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I really hope that this has encouraged you. If you want to take a look at some other suggestions, visit www.danicafavorite.com.